Well, the day is finally here. After ending its service internationally about 2 months ago, Danmachi Memoria Freese is now ending its service for the JP version on the 24th of June 2024. It is officially the end of an era as Danmemo is officially shutting down its final server that is live right now. And of course, with this, the game is going to be effectively dead after that point. Now, of course, there are some things that they have mentioned that we should talk about, including an endeavor to basically create a memorial app. So, of course, without further ado, let's get into this. But of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, remember to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi content, and let me know your fondest memories of Danmemo, as this is officially it. This is the end of Danmemo as we know it. Of course, when the global version ended, we still had the JP version, right? I even downloaded the JP version and we did some videos talking about it as well. And actually quite recently, funnily enough, some people asked me if I was still going to be making videos for the JP version of Danmemo, you know, if new content arrived and stuff, right? And I said, you know what, if there is new content, I will be more than happy to do so. And of course, with there being no end of service announcement, people were even talking about the possibility of there being a potential 7th anniversary. Funnily enough, the end of service date, 24th of June, is actually around the 7th anniversary. It is exactly around that time, effectively. I think it's a week or two after the 7th anniversary actually would take place normally, right? So it's quite ironic in that sense, of course, right? That, you know, we were all talking about it potentially happening. You know, they could do something. They wouldn't do a new story, but they would, you know, maybe give us all Hero Festas for each anniversary that's happened, right? Maybe a Hero Festa for the first anniversary and so on and so forth. Instead, we got the end of service for the JP version. It's definitely very, very sad. I'm already kind of, you know, I've already put my emotions to one side, kind of, because we already had our, you know, heart to heart a couple of months back, of course, in February when the international version ended. And of course, you know, I said goodbye to my global account. But of course, you know, there was always that hope and desire for, you know, pushing for a memorial app. And of course, big shout outs to everybody in the community. I already made a video talking about it. We all did our very best to, you know, accumulate as much stories and information as possible regarding Danmemo so that people could access it even after it dies. However, this post from the Danmachi Memoria Freese Twitter account is going to revolutionize what is going to be coming out after the end of Danmemo. And I think without further ado, let's break down what they have said in their posts. We're going to go through the tweets, we're going to go through the news posts that they've put in game, and we're going to just talk about it heart to heart, talk about what's coming up for the game and what they have planned after the game as well. So the first tweet that came out early this morning, it was at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was still asleep and I only woke up at around, you know, 4:45. So I was immediately rushing to work, but I saw the news. Somebody had pinged me in my Discord and I saw it and I was like, I'm not really surprised because I'd been saying for a long time that I do expect the JP Danmemo version to end its service sometime in the next couple of months. But you know, they hadn't announced anything, so I was like, you know what, maybe there might be some more time for it. But alas, guess I was right that, you know, it would be ending its service just a month or two after what I expected. I was expecting April or May more so, but June is about a month later than what I was expecting anyways. This time, Danmachi Memoria Freese, we will be terminating our service on the following date and time, Monday, June 24th, 2024, 1500 hours. So 3 p.m. JST is when the game will be shutting down on Monday. I might actually be able to be live for this one as well, to be quite honest, and I'll be able to stick around because I won't have work that day. So something I could potentially do. Although there's only a short time left until the service ends, we hope you will continue to support Danmemo. Let's move on to the second post. In order to preserve the story of Danmemo even after the service ends, the decision has been made to create a memorial app. Functions planned for the memorial app include viewing some scenarios, etc. You can use it for free by updating your current Danmemo app. This is something we've been begging for the global version when it was shutting down. Now, I don't know if this means that we will get it for the global version. I haven't seen any tweets from the global Danmachi Memoria Freese Twitter account, and I hope maybe, you know, somebody at the Danmemo team at WFS is watching this. Please make it happen for the global version as well. I beg of you, it would be utterly unbelievable if we could actually get a memorial app for the global version as well. It would be such a disappointment if we didn't, but a part of me is being pessimistic and saying that I don't think it's going to happen even if they were to watch this video. I don't know why it wouldn't happen. I just have this gut feeling that it's not gonna happen. But nonetheless, the fact that they're doing a memorial app, even if it is the JP version, is still an amazing feat. And honestly, I think what can be done, and I think this is something that we could try and maybe work in the future if there is a group willing to do it. I think if we can get a group of translators going potentially and stuff like that, maybe we can, get all the old stories as well that are available in the JP Danmemo app, right? And maybe be viewable, of course, with the memorial app. We can kind of try and get it all translated so that there is, all these stories available readily for people to, read through. And of course, if we can get that APK potentially, or, the file package effectively, maybe somebody can do something similar for the global version. Maybe. This is all just hypothetics, and it requires a lot of effort and work from a lot of people. So obviously it's not an easy, mean feat, especially for a community that's as small as a Danmachi community, right? Especially globally specifically. So we'll have to wait and see on that front. But I love the fact that they're doing this. Let's take a look at what this is now. Starting at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, May 1st, we will be holding a crowdfunding campaign called the Danmemo Memorial Project. The project will be centered around three goals: developing a memorial app, creating a memorial book, and reproducing the live broadcast of Aurario Z. More details will be provided during a special live broadcast starting at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so what this is, right? I think what they're doing here is, first and foremost, we will be crowdfunding effectively the memorial app. If we can get it for globally, I'm more than willing to spend on it. But even so, the fact that they might be making a Danmemo dev book, basically, where they're gonna go over all the artworks that they worked on, all the decisions they made, and stuff like that, I'd be willing to buy that book, in all honesty. I'd be more than willing to buy that book, because for me, seeing just the history of Danmemo laid out in a hardcover book that I can own and keep is going to be so important to me personally, because again, I've always said this, there are some things that, you always remember in your life, some games, some movies, some moments with your friends and family. And Danmemo is definitely one of those integral moments for me, and integral things that happened in my life, in all honesty. I'm not even joking. I do think Danmemo played a very big role in just making me the person I am. Of course, just generally, via streaming, meeting new people, interacting new people, understanding how people are, and building a community as well, working with the community as well in the form of a guild, the familiars and stuff like that. It taught me a lot. And also after that as well, even with the obviously the lack of players, people leaving and so on and so forth, people moving on from the game, when the time came for me to create content during the 5th anniversary, which was done on a whim. I will admit that it was completely done on a whim, and I put out that 5 years of Danmachi Memoria Freese video just like that. You guys can go and probably check it out. It was just a 30-minute video I just wanted to do off the cuff. At that time, I was making Genshin content for this channel, actually, funnily enough, right? And I was like, you know what, let me make a Danmachi Memoria Freese video. I want to do this. It's been 5 years of the game, and 5 years is no mean feat. It is an insane feat for any gacha game, especially one that has an IP attached to it. And since then, of course, we've developed this channel, we've built a community, and we're playing Danchro now. We're talking about the anime coming out and stuff like that. We're talking about the new console game coming out. And not to mention also, this game is so integral to Danmachi's survival in terms of the animated format, because the amount of money this game generated during its first 3 to 4 years effectively funded a lot of what they could do with the anime effectively for season 2 onwards. It is absolutely insane how much money this game made for its early years, to help develop and give the production community an opportunity to be like, oh shit, we can make more shit like this and more merchandise and more things with this brand that might work. So I would love to get that memorial book for sure. I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I had to mention that. The reproduction of the live broadcast of Aurario Z is, I assume, obviously tomorrow's live stream I think is going to be with like Mikan, Nakahara-san, the developers, producers, and of course the people behind the Danmemo app, right? Effectively, Aurario Z used to always feature VAs like Lufia's VA, Haruhime's VA, and so on and so forth. I think what they're gonna do here, And I assume this is a live broadcast. I assume they want to bring people on and bring people in. So what they want to do is something similar to what they used to do for the anniversaries, where they'd bring people, guests, fans of the game, guests to a live performance where they'll do a Q&A, interactions and stuff like that, share memories. That's what I'm assuming they're wanting to do here. So effectively we will be crowdfunding that live broadcast, which I think will be absolutely amazing and a great send-off if we can get it achieved. So we'll see how it goes. Of course, I'm quite curious to see what the goals are, how much money is going to be required and stuff like that. And maybe, we might get the achievements, maybe we might not. We'll have to wait and see. But I love the fact that they're doing something like this. I'm more than willing to give a little bit of my own money to the game, as a final send-off, just to be like, what, if you're creating all of these things, these are your 3 goals, I'm more than willing to support each and every single one of them. In all honesty, I am more than willing to support the game, and give them the opportunity to do this. In all honesty, I really am. I really, really am. Now, what I want to do here is I want to go over the in-game notice first and see if they've got anything planned here, of course, right? Thank you for always using Danmemo. We would like to inform you that Danmemo will be discontinued as of 1500 hours on June 24th, 2024. To the customers who have patronized, I think a wrong word, who are patrons being customers of Danmachi Memoria Freese for the sudden announcement. We received a lot of support from the time of release, and we were able to continue the service for about 7 years. Actually, exactly 7 years, I think it would be. Thanks so much to everyone who has supported us thus far. In order to convey our gratitude to everyone who has played Danmemo so far, the development team carefully discussed this decision many times before deciding to end the service, and this plan took shape. Shame? Definitely not. No shame. No shame in them ending the game when they know, they've reached a peak effectively of this game. It has been decided to create a memorial app. We will create a memorial app in order to preserve the story of Danmemo even after the service ends. The memorial app plans to provide viewing of some scenarios. The memorial app can be used after the 24th of June by updating the current Danmemo app. Okay, the memorial app is scheduled to be distributed only on iOS and Android. The memorial app does not have a transfer function. Please be careful not to uninstall the current Danmemo app. That's going to be one disappointing thing, is like, of course, as somebody who's just bought a new phone, right? My Danmemo account is on my old phone. So unfortunately, if there is going to be like effectively something where, we can only read the stories if we've been if we've participated in it, I'm not going to be able to do it, especially if my phone is going to be, if I might sell my phone or something like that, right? It's going to be a bit of a problem there, of course, right? From 7 o'clock on 1st of May, we will implement the crowdfunding Danmemo Memorial Project. Even after the service ends, the memories that Danmemo and its fans have accumulated will remain in your possession. Finally, fans and development team will be able to look back on their memories together with Danmemo together. And with this in mind, we have decided to hold a crowdfunding campaign. We would like to prepare a final festival that we can create together with everyone, including the development of a memorial app, the production of a memorial book, and a one-night-only reprint of the Orario Z live broadcast. A special live broadcast remote distribution. Oh, no, never mind. I guess it'll be with the voice actors only then, not an actual live thing, basically. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm all... oh, no, this is... I think this is another one. This is another one entirely. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what is in store for us tomorrow, right? And we'll go from there. But yeah, insane time to be present here, and it's crazy. It's honestly nuts. Let me see if we can see the message in the app, in the in-game notices itself. I want to see if we have it here. Oh, let's go over maybe here. It might be. I'm quite curious to see where it'll be. Let me check. Can we actually get in Danmemo, please? Can I click on this? Let's see if I can do this maybe and then do that. There we go. Oh, maybe. No, it doesn't have this here. So I think this, let's see what this has to say. Message from the first director. We will post a message from Nagano, the original director of Danmemo. It'll be a while until the final moment, but we would like to thank all the players who have loved and played Danmemo. Thank you very much until now. Okay. Let's see, can I maybe open image in this new tab, and let's see, can I Maybe translate it in some way? No, you can't, of course. Let me see if there's an image translator. Image translator, if possible, Google. Is there, no, okay, that doesn't help. Image translate. Let's see. I want to read this message. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Yandex it is. I don't really like Yandex's translations because it's very odd and it kind of messes it up sometimes. But honestly, let it cook. Let it cook and hopefully we get an idea here. It's not great, but yeah. Thank you for always playing Danmemo. My name is Nagano, who was a director for a while from the time of the release before changing to Nakano. I've made comments in some interview articles, but I myself came forward in Orario Z and everyone. I've never been able to send a message to everyone. Okay, let's see here. This is really bad. I'm probably gonna have to do this instead. One second, I have an idea. Where's my phone? I'm gonna open it up on my phone and I'm gonna read it through there instead. Because I'll be able to translate it a lot better on my phone, basically. So where is it? Danmachi Memoria Freese. Can I check it here? There we go. Let's see. Actually, I'll do it this way. There. Oh, I went to the English Twitter account. Whoopsie. Wrong one. I don't think, I'll check if the English Twitter account has something, but I don't know if it does. I don't think it does, at least. So where's my translate app? There we go. Now let's take this document. Where is it? There it is. All right, let's read this. Message from the first director, Nagano. I'm gonna go back here. Thank you for always playing Danmachi Memoria Freese. My name is Nagano, and I was the director for a while after the release before changing to Nakano. I've made comments in several interview articles, but I've never come forward to send a message to everyone on Orario Z. As a result, many people may not know this, but even though I'm currently in a position where I have to take a step back from managing Danmemo, I'm still involved in the role of a person as in charge. So I would like to take this opportunity to share my thoughts with you about how to enjoy this game. Or how I enjoyed this game, I should say. I'm writing this comment to express my gratitude to everyone who has received it. I first came across Danmachi about 10 years ago, and at the time I was working with Nozawa at Right Flyer Studios to consider various projects, and I decided to turn this wonderful work into a game. Man, it's crazy how passionate the developers are. The thing is, right, this is the difference between Danmemo and Danchro. I keep talking about, you know, how I say Danmemo felt like a Danmachi game, whereas Danchro feels like a gacha game skinned with Danmachi. The reason behind that is this reason that I just spoke about. Danmemo's developers and producers and everybody behind the scenes requested that they take on the project, whereas Danchro was assigned the project to. Like, Aiming Inc. was assigned the project by the production committee team. The production committee team went out, chose Aiming Inc., and that's what we got. Whereas here, it seems like Right Flyer Studios, they were looking like, okay, we need to build our roster of games, right? This was early days. Right Flyer Studios wasn't a big thing back in the day. They only had Another Eden. Now they have big games like Slimy Isekai Memories, Heaven Burns Red, and so on and so forth. But back then, they didn't have much. So, of course, you know, picking up an IP, they wanted to develop something and they were passionate about it. And this is the reason why they are so passionate about this project. I think it is so cool, in all honesty. It feels only recently that I became so enthusiastic about making sure that as many customers as possible had fun. The game was released shortly after that, and I also remember that all of us at the development and management team were very happy to receive so many responses from everyone. Over the nearly 7 years of operation, we have encountered various problems, both large and small, and we are truly sorry for each and every one of the inconveniences we have caused. However, even in such a difficult situation, I will always remember the encouragement you gave me. It is our team's policy to read all inquiries and comments on social media and to sincerely listen to everyone's opinions. This is the core of Danmemo management and the producers and directors even at this very moment. I strongly feel that the reason we have been able to remain the same even though we have changed is because of everyone who has walked with us, including Orario Z and its real life events. With the cooperation of Mr. Mori and everyone on the anime production committee, Danmemo has become deeply and a deep part of Danmachi as a whole. All of the anniversary events were completed in a way that were memorable, but personally, the most impressive thing for me was seeing how excited everyone was when we made the announcement at the real event venue. This is also one of my unforgettable memories. All of those moments made everyone happy became the driving force of the Danmemo development management team, including Mr. Omori, and gave us the feeling of and ability to execute without hesitation, to create something that surpasses the last time and deliver new surprises. It was connected. I am truly sorry that this cannot continue. Despite the current situation, we have decided to carry out a crowdfunding in hopes of preserving even a little of Danmemo's past. We have many return gifts available, so if you are interested, please support us. It will last a little longer until the final moment. We would like to thank all the players who love and play Danmemo. Thank you very much until now. The thing is, that's crazy, man. You can feel the passion and love that the developer had for Danmemo and Danmachi as a whole, I should say. And it's insane that, I said it as well when Danchro was about to release, right? I'm kind of tearing up a little bit. When Danchro was about to release, I told so many people that Danmemo was a very unique experience. No gacha company has devoted their lives and the passion they have for a game like this. The only closest ones are probably MiHoYo with Honkai and Genshin, as well as well, at the time, Delightworks, or now as they're called, Lasangel or Lasagna for FGO. Nobody comes close. Nobody fucking comes close to Danmachi's developers and the production team behind it for this game. It's honestly insane how much they loved this game and how much they loved the franchise as a whole. You could tell it with everything that they did. Admittingly, yes, they've said, we've encountered so many problems and we've caused inconveniences and they're sorry for it, but those inconveniences were minor hurdles at the end of the day in the grand scheme of things, of course, right? At the time, of course, I would be mad. So many other people in the community would be mad, and people are still mad about some of the decisions, they made back in the day. But at a point, you kind of have to accept it, like, you know what, we still had fun. We still had fun as much as people were like, how is this game still surviving, 7 years on, 6 years on, whatever it was. It's good to, look back and be like, you know what, we still had a lot of fun. We still had our moments and we still had a lot of fun. But yeah, tomorrow, of course, there is going to be a live stream. I will not be able to be live for it, but I will definitely be making a video reacting to it for sure. It's going to be taking place at about 1 p.m. my time, which is unfortunately while I'm still at work. And I don't think I can leave early, unfortunately, to make the live stream happen. But definitely expect a video, of course, on that. And let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, on this entire thing. I'm kind of bittersweet about it. It's very bittersweet. On one hand, you kind of expected it. You're kind of like, what, it's an end of an era. On the other hand, you're still somewhat sad about it going away, at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.